Hi, this is Charlie Idale, and this is a video presentation of my website. So, as you can see here, I'm in my website, which I started up through Python. So, as you can see, I've got my login page. So, I'm just going to show you what would happen if you forgot your password. So, I'm going to put the account, which is Charlie I. So, I'm going to submit this. As you can see, it's taking me back to the login page. So now I should have had an email come through if I go to my inbox. As you can see, one here, 1537. I've got an email here about resetting my password. And then I'll show you my sign up page. So in here, this is where a user would sign up. So we'll sign up a user. We'll use the same email. Now I've just got to do a password. Sign up. As you can see, it sent me an email. So if I go to my emails, here we go. Please click this to confirm your registration. There you go. Thanks for your email confirmation. Now you can log in. So as you can see, I can create accounts. So now we're in the website. As you can see, I've got one model here with text underneath it. I've also got a header with an image here which is referenced, a title which I've used a font from Bulma. I've also got an animation here which is not in the right position because my Bulma font messed up the positioning and I couldn't change it. So I'll show you now my left hand navigation. So most paid here, which you can see it presents the most paid model with text underneath. Then Best Nations presents the Best Nation model with text underneath. So now I'm just going to log out and I'm going to log in with my admin. So as you can see, now I've got the admin option. So in this admin section, as you can see, this is how I added my models. As you can see, all three of them are there. So I'm just going to go back out. Also, for my sign up, if you don't have an @ in the email, it'll tell you. And it'll also tell you to fill in fields as well, so if you don't fill them in. So look there, no @ in the email. So now I'm going to move on to the actual code and briefly explain it. So I'm going to start with my settings PY. So as you can see, in this section here, this is the main setup for things like Django modules and any slight settings you want to add, like email info. So as you can see, it's got lots of Django things in here. Right, the next is my urls.py. In this section I've got my URL path for the website and the application, as you can see. Next I'm going to move on to the migrations section. In this section I have all the framework for my generated tables, which is connected to the models PY section when it creates the tables. So as you can see, in each one of these I've got my table, and they're pretty much all the same, just with different names as they are different tables. Next I'm going to move on to my images. These are the images I've used for my projects. So as you can see, this one here, which I did edit in GIMP because I wanted to change the background, and this is the background for my website. Next is style and animation. In this section I have implemented designs for my website. For example, by looking at the animation code, it is presented on the right hand side of the header, but when I first got the code it was presented in the middle, so I had to tweak and change the code a little bit. As you can see, I've also got my style CSS. As you can see in here, background colour, and the stadium JPEG there. Next I'm going to move on to my templates. So first is my activate email HTML. In this section my code has an activation token, as you can see, which it sends to the user, which allows the user to log in, which I've already shown you. In animation HTML, this is the code for my animation, which is referenced in my README. I've tweaked the code a little bit so it's suited to my website. Then I've got my best nation HTML. This code gets the data from SQLite, which is a database which then presents it. So as you can see, best nation is the same as home and most paid. As you can see, they're all very similar as they are all for models. Next I've got my footer HTML, which I don't have a lot in. Next I've got my header HTML. This code presents my static logo, my title, my animation in the header with the sizes and positions I've stated in the code, as you can see. I've also got this code from Bootstrap, which I'll just show you at the top. So I had to get it implemented. Right, next is my password reset HTML. This is the code for my password reset. As you can see, it's got the end block content. Then I've got the actual email you will receive, so the password reset email, as you can see. Then I've got my sidebar here. This is the code for my sidebar, which presents a sidebar on the website. I've referenced the code for this in my README, but I have tweaked the code as well. Like, I didn't use exact code, I had to change it to suit my website. Then next is my sign up HTML, which is for the sign up page. As you can see, I use Bootstrap for this as well. I've also linked the reference for this as well. Next section is my admin PY. In this section I've created an admin view so I can add data to the models from the admin section of my website, as you can see. Next section is the forms PY. In this section I'm overwriting the user creation form, as you can see. Next is models PY. In this section I've started to design and size for my database models, as you can see. Then we've got tokens PY. In this section it regenerates the token for the password reset email, as you can see. Then lastly we've got views PY. This is what renders the application web pages. For example, as you can see from the code, it loads up my free modules and it loads up my password reset as well, which I'll just show you. As you can see there, password reset there. And I'd just like to talk about one more thing before the end, which is admin override, which I've used quite a lot in this project, which is in the home and views. I have things like class reset password view success message mixin, which overrides with templates so that there is a standard way to override. Right, thank you for listening. That is the end.